Back in the earlier days, before YouTube was commonplace, a group of friends put together a comedic video utilizing Halo character models from the game Halo Combat Evolved and made a series of short videos that ended up skyrocketing into a well-loved series that has now existed for well over a decade and is still going strong today. Red vs. Blue debuted back in 2003 and did a lot for both Halo as a gaming behemoth and user-created content on the internet as a whole. And while Halo already was established as a franchise while the first episodes of this series were releasing, there's no denying that works by Rooster Teeth with Red vs. Blue helped foster a community of fans who both loved the web series and were more willing to kind of just fall in love with the universe of Halo and just the aesthetic that went with Halo back in the day. Rooster Teeth really pioneered the genre of video machinimas, and it only seemed fitting that Bungie and 343 Industries would pay homage to the legacy that Red vs. Blue had created by hiding Easter eggs in their own games. So today we're looking at the best Red vs. Blue Easter eggs in the Halo universe. Let's go ahead and jump into it. First, we wanted to look at one of the most popular ones, which is the password-lacking Marine from the level Crow's Nest featured in the Halo 3 campaign, where if you make your way down the long corridor towards the beginning of the level, you can find a Marine locked out of a door and pleading with the person on the other side of the door to open up and let them in. What's really cool about this Easter egg is that they brought in various characters from Red vs. Blue and their respective actors, and it actually changes what dialogue you hear based on what difficulty you're playing on. Here's a short clip of the Easter egg.
Hey, open up!
Password, please!
You gotta be kidding me! What password?
The password so we don't open the door for brutes.
Do I sound like a brute to you?
Well, you could be held prisoner by brutes.
If I was held prisoner by brutes and knew the password, then the brutes could just force me to tell you the password and you'd open the door for them.
Okay, well now I'm definitely not gonna open the door.
But we need ammo!
Well, why don't you go ask your brute buddies then?
If you play the game on easy or normal difficulty, you will hear Jason Saldana as Tucker and Matt Holman as Doc having an interaction. If you play on heroic difficulty, you'll hear Jeff Ramsey as Griff or Gus Sorolla as Simmons pleading to have the door open up. And if you're playing on legendary, you'll hear Bernie Burns as Church and Joel Heyman as Caboose. It's a pretty cool nod to the Red vs. Blue franchise and definitely was just an awesome way to show respect to these mega fans of the Halo universe who created something completely unique on their own with the character models provided in the first Halo games. Going back to Halo 2, Bungie did a really subtle Rooster Teeth Easter egg in 2005, 1 year after Halo 2's release, when they released the Kill-tacular map pack. Now mind you, back in the old days of Xbox, map packs weren't a very common thing, and while most people actually got the map packs by going to the store and buying the physical disc that had the maps on it, one of the two maps featured on the Kill-tacular pack was the map Turf. On the level Turf, if you go throughout the map, there are two vending machines, one that is red and one that is blue. The red vending machine has a picture of some teeth on it, and the blue vending machine has a rooster on it, which obviously is paying homage to Rooster Teeth, the name of the company that produced Red vs. Blue. A really simple and basic nod, but it's something that not a lot of people really know about just because Turf wasn't that popular of a map to begin with because it was DLC, and it's just something that's so subtly hidden. In Halo 3, if you look closely at the tires on a Warthog, you can see that there is text in the Warthog tires that says the word Puma. This is a reference to the first season of Red vs. Blue, where they all reference or argue with whether or not the Warthogs should be called Pumas, since they look more like Pumas. In Halo 2, if you play on the map Beaver Creek and climb up to the top of the rock tower and push off the movable rocks onto the ground, you you can see behind it on the rock wall the text, "Why am I here?" This is a reference to Red vs. Blue, which essentially was one of the first jokes ever featured in the series. In Halo 4 Spartan Ops, a game type that wasn't very widely received by fans, if you play through the levels, there are various radios hidden throughout the course of the levels, and if you shoot at the radios, they will play the Rooster Teeth theme from the Red vs. Blue episodes and have some voice dialogue associated with it.
Still working with Castle to take down air defenses, Commander.
Fire Team Castle, this is Commander Palmer. I need an ETA on clear skies.
The regular radio guy said he would be right back. Yeah, that's true.
And it can net you the achievement Roses and Violets. In Halo Reach, some of the voice actors from Red vs. Blue had Marines named after them in the Halo Reach campaign. Gus, Jeff, Bernie, and Matt all had their own Marines named after them, which appeared on their own individual campaign levels, along with sometimes appearing in multiple campaign levels, and it was just a really cool nod to the people who created Red vs. Blue. They also continued the trend of putting the word Puma on the tires of the Warthog, and when elites die in Halo Reach, sometimes they will die saying "Herc blah," which was a common saying made by characters when they died in Red vs. Blue. Just a cool way to pay respect to what Red vs. Blue had done. This next one might not actually be canon, but in Halo 5, there is a level that was created by fans called Studio 17, which is a reference to the Rooster Teeth offices or the studios where they film a lot of their shows, and it actually has a recreation of the old Rooster Teeth podcast set, and it's really cool. And while this wasn't directly made by 343 Industries, they actually took the map and put it in the official matchmaking playlist for the game type Infection. So in a way, it kind of was brought to a ton of people's eyes through the matchmaking mode, which is really cool, and the level design is just awesome here. When Windows introduced Cortana as a voice assistant on Windows 10 devices, if you ask Cortana if it likes Red vs. Blue, it'll actually make a great response saying that it likes it and it makes it wonder why we're here. Also a reference to the first episode of Red vs. Blue.
Hey Cortana, do you like Red vs. Blue?
I like it. It sometimes makes me wonder why we're here.
It's a cool little nod, just considering Cortana is a Halo-inspired name, and Red vs. Blue kind of is just in line with that. And this next one isn't as much of an Easter egg as it was a partnership between Microsoft and Red vs. Blue, but for the promotions of Halo 3 ODST, they worked on special machinimas that showed off Sergeant Johnson and was just in the style of Red vs. Blue, and in Halo Reach, they did a series where they are with the new graphics from Halo Reach and just kind of did a whole storyline associated with that helped promote Halo Reach to fans, and it was really cool that they did that. Here's a short clip of one of these commercials.
And my friend's cousin's neighbor told me he has laser eyes. I'm pretty sure that last one is fake, though. I'm scared. You should be.
And one of the coolest Easter eggs from Red vs. Blue and Rooster Teeth definitely comes in the form of Grifball, which ended up being one of the biggest game types in Halo besides just the typical Slayer and competitive arena games. Grifball really just started from a joke that they had in Red vs. Blue, and it really blew up into a huge competitive game that's really fun to play and also really utilizes teamwork, and it's really just interesting to see how Grifball, derived from a joke involving the character Griff, became this larger than life thing in Halo, and it's definitely one of my favorite nods to Red vs. Blue. Unfortunately, outside of the major Easter eggs found in Halo 4 and just the one-off matchmaking Easter egg in Halo 5, 343 Industries kind of abandoned putting in Easter eggs from Rooster Teeth with Halo 5 Guardians, and it's kind of a shame just because of how abundant the Easter eggs had been with Halo 2, 3, ODST, Reach, and 4. Just a not have a whole lot hidden away in Halo 5, and it was kind of disappointing. But with Halo Infinite coming out next year, and just the hype for Halo being bigger than it's been in a really long time, we're relatively optimistic that maybe 343 Industries will include Red vs. Blue or something Rooster Teeth related in the future, just because of the legacy that the show's created, and we wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a resurgence of fans really appreciating Red vs. Blue again as the new Halo games come closer, and possibly they start using the new Halo game as a platform to continue on the show. But ultimately, what did you think? Were you a fan of Red vs. Blue when the show initially came out? I came into the Red vs. Blue fandom pretty late on. I was already in high school and Reach had already released when I ordered the DVDs of the first 6 seasons of Red vs. Blue on Netflix, and I watched all of them in just a couple of weeks, and it was a pretty great experience. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys are new and you like all things Halo, Xbox glory days or the good old days of Xbox Live and achievements and whatnot, be sure to subscribe to Rocket Sloth with notifications on, and follow us on Twitter at Rocket Elijah and Rocket Sloth Luke so you never miss another one of our uploads. Hey, if you guys are looking for something else to watch though, check out on our screen right now. You can look at the coolest Halo Easter eggs hidden throughout the Halo universe. There's a ton more Easter eggs that aren't Red vs. Blue related, or you can check out the hardest Halo skulls to obtain of all time. And that is it for today, guys. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.